Jill, we are live.
Hi, welcome everybody. I'm Jill with the Catalytic Fund, and I'm here with Les Fultz. He's the owner of Valera Studios, and they are the producer of all of our Beyond the Curb River City Living episodes. Les, thank you so much for hosting us today.
Jill, I'm so excited to be on Facebook Live with the one and only Jill Morenz, and thank you so much for trusting Valera Studios to help produce the series Beyond the Curb.
Yes, it has been such a great experience working with you. Thank you so much.
Well, why don't you tell folks what Beyond the Curb is?
Oh, sure. Right? Okay. So Beyond the Curb was started by the Catalytic Fund back in 2015 as a way to showcase all the amazing housing options in Northern Kentucky's urban river cities. I took over coordinating the tours in 2017, and we typically had 2 in-person tours a year until 2020, when we pivoted entirely to virtual tours. So we had an amazing season 1 with 20 episodes, and then this year, 2021, we had another season 2, and at the end of our live show here, we're going to give you a little preview of what we've got planned for 2022.
This is so awesome. Yeah. And for the folks watching, if you're tuning in, and you can comment afterwards too, we'll pick up on your comments. But be sure to ask questions. If you see anything that piques your interest, I'm following along virtually so we can actually capture your questions in real time. We're going to have a live Q&A a little later.
That's right.
And so just be paying attention. And so Jill, Beyond the Curb has just been awesome. The impact that it's had, the communities that people get to tour and see, it's been an incredible experience for our company because we get to venture around all the river cities. And you're just so awesome at sharing the interior design features.
That's so much fun, yeah. But I do want to give you, if you wouldn't mind, please tell us a little bit about Valera Studios, because you do so much more than just this type of content.
No, thank you. Yeah, and if you're following along, Valera Studios, we produce all types of corporate content. Content for your website, social media. We're obviously in Cincinnati's only live streaming studio.
That's right.
And rarely does Les get in front of the camera. Normally I'm behind the scenes. I have the studio in my ear, so Max is back behind in the control room. Ellen is here, my team is here, Ellen's here controlling. She's the floor manager inside the studio. So there's all kinds of very technologically advanced things happening right now, and so it's kind of cool I get to join Jill in front of the camera, and so I'm so glad you're here and so glad you're watching. So again, if you're following along, we want to hear your questions. We want to hear.
Yes, thank you so much. So Les and I have been talking about our favorite episodes, and since we've had 32 episodes, it's really hard to come up with a list of our favorites. So we decided to pick one episode per city. So we're going to start with talking a little bit about the Ascent at Roebling's Bridge, which is in Covington. Of course, it's a huge part of the Covington skyline. The architecture of it is amazing. It was designed by Daniel Libeskind, and he envisioned the shape as, see how it curves kind of? It's supposed to mimic the curve of the Ohio River and also the rolling hills of Kentucky.
Such a beautiful building.
It's absolutely beautiful.
That's the fun part about my job, Jill, is I get to go around the city and see, all these beautiful pieces of architecture. You get to take me on these tours, and so I get a unique experience. But that's the cool thing about the folks that are behind the scenes. That are watching from home, they also can go on the tour. They can see everything. I was
so excited to share the Ascent with our viewers because so many people are not able to go in. It's it's a private residences there. So this is the lobby. It's incredibly cool, very contemporary. This is the condo that we featured on the episode. Oh, I have to share with everybody. This is a great story.
This is great.
So I heard from Corporex, who is the developer of the Ascent. We had, before this episode aired, they'd had a couple that had toured that particular condo, and they were kind of thinking about it. And then after our episode came out, they realized, oh my gosh, this is out there now. We need to jump on it. So they sold the condo 10 days after our episode aired. So
that is amazing.
I know, that's like a $1.5 million benefit for our sponsor.
Well, the series has created not only an enjoyable thing for people to watch, but such great economic impact as a result of watching this series. You know, I personally moved to Northern Kentucky thanks to Jill.
I know.
I had the chance. I was
a Cincinnati guy. Lifelong Cincinnatian.
Yep, and moved right to Covington, and so as a result of Beyond the Curve.
That's right.
So
we bring everybody here.
How many episodes do we have now?
32.
32 episodes in 2 years, and we're coming into season 3.
Yes, more about that later.
Okay.
So now let's take us over. Out of those 32 episodes, we want to tell you about our first episode that we filmed, which is in Ludlow. It's called Somerset Hall. It's an incredibly gorgeous 1840s house. This is the living room here, but very cool, very contemporary on the inside. But on the exterior, it's just stunning property that was actually built by a family who lived in Louisiana and made Kentucky their summer home because I guess it was cooler than Louisiana in the summer. And this long porch here that you're seeing right now, they believe that that's the longest residential porch in Kentucky. And Patrick Snaden is the guest that we had on that episode. He is a member of the Ludlow Historic Society. And he explained that the servants used the porch as a way to navigate between the rooms of the house without having to go inside. So they could just come out and walk across the porch on one end of the house and then go in on the other.
I love that shot. I remember 10 o'clock in the morning, or 9 o'clock in the morning when we arrived on location there. And folks, if you're driving through Ludlow, this house is about 1 block off of the main drag.
Yep.
But it was
you won't be able to see it.
Such a cool moment, camera in hand, and you're seeing this beautiful porch, these ferns waving and the sun coming through down the porch, and just it almost sets you back to the 1800s or late 1800s when this house was built. And Patrick did such a good job of telling that story, didn't he?
Yeah.
And like the folks, this was their vacation home, right? Coming up the Ohio River on a paddle boat.
Yeah.
Just an amazing.
It's a great story, and the whole neighborhood has been built around it since, so it's kind of nestled in there like a little park. It's just beautiful.
So folks should take some time. They should get around and travel around. Watch the episodes at beyondthecurve.org. That's where you can find.
And then you can come on our tours, on the in-person tours. Go inside.
And the in-person tours.
So the next episode that we want to show you is in Dayton. It's called the Bricky House. And there it is right now. It's since been painted gray, but it was still green when we did the filming. And it's called the Bricky House because a Victorian slang term for a brave woman was Bricky. So the owners felt like their house was a brave woman who had withstood many, 150 years of life and was still standing. And they came in, and it was originally built as a doctor's residence and office, and they also live and work there.
Let's pause it.
Oh, yes.
Let's
go back really quick. I want to talk about
Jill.
Yeah.
This was my favorite part, and I want you to explain it to folks. If you can go back a few more frames, Max. This roof. Why don't you tell folks what's going on here?
Yeah. So this is this loft area. It looks like what they did was just raise the ceiling up to the rafters, but because they still wanted some insulation, you don't have a whole lot of insulation if you just raise the ceiling to the rafters, they insulated it between the joists, and then they had their workmen stain and cut little wood slats that they laid over the insulation on the ceiling there. So it looks like the ceiling, it's just taken up to the rafters, but it actually has some R value. So very, very creative, very thoughtful.
So not only are you getting a taste of watching and seeing what it's like to live, work, play in the river cities, but you're going to get so many cool little design ideas. Like I've improved my own living because of what we showcase in these episodes.
I've actually heard Les say the term mid-mod now.
Mid-mod,
yeah. So
I didn't know what that was.
This is big.
And so, Mandy's so awesome, and I hear you have a special guest.
We have a special guest. That's right, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, you gotta stay tuned.
So after Dayton, then I wanted to take you into Bellevue. The episode that we decided to show you today is at Water's Edge in Bellevue. It's beautiful. Bellevue, one of the decisions that they made was not to build a levee. So this property is really like right on the river, literally a stone's throw from the river. It's absolutely beautiful inside. This couple that owns it, Jay and Linda, love the traditional features, so they added a lot of the traditional moldings and details here. And this episode, here's the laundry room that has this wallpaper on the ceiling, super cute.
Amazing.
And this episode right here,
Okay.
Les,
That is one of my favorite. This is one of my favorite parts. So if Max could play the video through to that. There's the. I think he's the owner of B&B Riverboats. The homeowner was like, hey, mister, can you bring the boat down? The film crew's here. We're going to do this cool little shoot, you know, and I'm sitting here, that's it. That is if you can go back a couple more frames, that is my favorite, this is my favorite shot out of all the creative pieces of work at Blair Studios. This piece, I love, the clouds were just perfect, the boat on the river. This Ohio did not look brown. We had not.
It didn't look. It's so blue.
No,
it's beautiful.
No, there was a period without a lot of rain, and so the water was blue. And so, could you just imagine living at water's edge?
Oh yeah, this is their view every day. It's so beautiful.
So cool.
Love that episode. And then the last episode we're going to share with you, we're going to take you to Newport. This was an incredibly creative renovation done by a friend of the Catalytic Fund, Mansion Hill Properties. Mark Ramler did this. This property is amazing. He repurposed so many things from the original house, and he was able to excavate some of the walls and find some amazing things tucked in there. This is how the house looks now. Just stunning with the double porch. And then we're going to show you here, this is what it looked like when he bought it.
Oh my gosh.
So just a disaster, literally falling down in the back. And this was the dining room. And this was the living room, and that staircase, there it is right now. That's how it looks now. And those are hand-turned spindles he was able to save. So just so beautiful, so creative. There's some interior windows. I love this island, which was created with the floorboards from the attic. I mean, it just goes on and on. Definitely want to watch that.
There's
episode.
so much diversity, and this is my favorite feature.
Yep.
This was what caught me off guard. It was a little hard to film inside this bathroom, but
so this is the master bathroom, and it's got 2 showers or 2 walls that are marble tile, and the third is a bricked up fireplace that's been waterproofed. I mean,
so cool.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
You know, if you're driving down the street, Newport, Ludlow, Covington, Bellevue, Dayton, you know, sometimes you're not even thinking, like you see, oh, that's a nice house, but you don't really know what went into that. So that's a cool thing about watching these videos and watching Jill. You guys get the full picture, and you get this wildly diverse offering in living, right?
Yeah, that's what we try to do with Beyond the Curve, is just show the whole wide variety of options in Northern Kentucky's urban river cities. So I love doing it. In fact, I think we're now going to hear from a few of the owners who live in Northern Kentucky, and they want to tell you a little bit about what they love about living there.
We'll be right back.
We call it city light. So we're city people, and I feel like I live in a city in a neighborhood atmosphere, that we've gotten to know not only our neighbors, but the people that work in the bars and the restaurants, and are just excited about living here in Covington also. And I feel like we have a very neighborhood feel in this historic district, and we feel more at home every single day.
So I love living in Ludlow because of the community. Everyone's incredibly friendly. It's, I like to say, artsy community. You have a bunch of weird, funky shops. It's nice to be able to wake up, walk down the street, get coffee, or get whatever you need from the grocery store. Everything you need is in Ludlow. Overall, just a great community. The great part about Ludlow is I can walk outside of my house and hop on my bike, and I can either follow the river and have a beautiful scenic route, or I can hop downtown. I don't have to worry about parking. You can ride everywhere, and everything's within 10-15 minutes of what you need.
Newport is incredible. I grew up in Fort Thomas, just up the road, and growing up in a suburban environment, you don't really understand what it means to live in an urban core. And it is amazing to live down here in Newport. So we're right on Mama Street, right in the downtown of Newport. It is awesome that you get to live up above your business and be able to walk out your front door of your home and business and be right downtown Newport and go to explore all the bars and restaurants in the area.
This has been so cool. What a neat, I love going back in time and watching these episodes, Jill. It's just fun to go back and see how much work you and I have actually done to film all these.
Labor of love.
Yes,
Absolutely.
and it's just a beautiful story that we've told. And so I'm so excited to be working with you and coming into the next season. And but aren't we going to jump to somebody? We got somebody right now.
Yes.
We have a special guest.
We do. So I'd like to introduce you to Mandy Layman. She is the owner of the Bricky House that we showed you just a little bit ago. She's also the designer for the amazing Pickle Factory Airbnbs, which we featured in season 2, episode 11. That was our bonus episode. So Mandy, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Mandy. Hi.
Hey guys, good to see you again. I remember the last time you were here. It's been a while. I missed you.
Oh, I miss you too. So to start off, Mandy, I'd love for you to share the story about how you got involved with the Pickle Factory project. It's such an interesting...
the Pickle Factory. I love that project and how it came about. That one, so I got started as an interior designer, and the way it came to the Pickle Factory is actually through Beyond the Curb, ironically. So I'm schooled as a graphic designer, which I still do that, but probably half of my business now is interior design. And the way I got into that was me and my husband renovated a house in Dayton, Kentucky. And it's kind of like a more prominent house in the area. So people just paid attention, and I started an Instagram account for it. So Beyond the Curb found us that way, and then they asked us to be on their Dayton tour. And then we basically were on that, and it was also an anniversary year for that tour. And so 400 people walked through our house that day. So one of the people is the owners of the Pickle Factory. And so they gave me my first interior design job, actually. I wasn't even sure if I wanted to do interior design before that, but I had in mind like a very specific type of project I would want if I ever did it. And I literally didn't, know that was going to happen or anything, but they basically like called me and offered me my dream project, and I took it. And then, I don't know, that was 3 or 4 years ago. So 3 or 4 years ago, we did the Pickle Factory, or now we have done the Pickle Factory together. And I work on projects for them all the time. But yeah, so that's how it came to be, because Beyond the Curb.
That's great.
Oh, thanks, Jill.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. That's kind of like what you're talking about with the economic impact of the
Yeah, there's been so much
series.
great opportunities that have come as a result of this series, and folks will have a chance to participate. We'll tell them all about that.
Yep, that's absolutely right. So Les and I have been talking about our favorites tonight, Mandy, and I'd love to hear from you what your favorite suite in the Pickle Factory Airbnb is.
The Pickle Factory, love it.
My favorite suite in the Pickle Factory, that's always really hard for me to pick because they're all so different, and that's kind of how I am as a person, is I just feel like I'm so many different styles. It's hard to narrow down to one. But I guess if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick neon just for aesthetic reasons, because it looks the most like my house. I also do love that I don't know if I said this before, but basically all the rooms and Airbnbs in the Pickle Factory are based off the history of the building, or something to do with the building. So there's the pickle room because it used to be a pickle factory. There's a soda pop room and it's light blue and circles and bubbles everywhere. And that's based off that it used to be a soda pop factory. The neon room that I was talking about, that one is based off that it's on the cross street of Electric Avenue. So we thought doing a room that, talks about that would be fun. I also love that it's built, the idea is kind of built around this iconic restaurant in Cincinnati, Terry's Turf Club, that, lights the whole restaurant up with just neon lights. So I thought that would be really fun to do in an Airbnb. Ours is way more toned down than that space, but I just always loved that restaurant. So it's a fun little, harken back to them.
It is. My favorite suite in the Pickle Factory is the soda pop suite. I just love it so much, all the colors. So Mandy, we saw a little bit of your home earlier. What's your favorite project?
That's a really hard question. I always have trouble answering that one because I really am just proud that we did this project to begin with. I mean, it was a big project. Looking back on it, I didn't feel like it was as big as what it ended up being. I walked through and could see it immediately, what it was going to be. And at the time, a lot of people were like, why are you guys taking on this big of a project? And now I get it. Like when I look back at the pictures and stuff, I can see how far we've come and how much work it has been and stuff, but it's been totally worth it. So I think honestly, just completing the project in full, you know, which I think will be next summer, will be completely done, is the thing I'm most proud of. And then we already are on to the next one. We already know what we're doing next, but yeah, just completing it in full would be awesome.
I can't wait to hear what you're going to do next. So after walking through both of your projects, I'm dying to know if you'll share some of your sources for all the cool details that you have, that you find somehow. Where do you find them?
Oh, that's such a good question. This is also really hard for me to answer when people ask, just because I really get stuff from literally everywhere. I'm constantly, everywhere I go, I'm finding unique pieces. I would say that the places that I'm most excited to go to, and they're also accessible to everyone, so like not a wholesaler that I work with or something. I really love going to places like Home Emporium, bargains and buyouts, things like that, you know, maybe the average interior designer doesn't think to look there, but they sometimes have like some crazy unique pieces that are really well priced. And so those places are really exciting to me. I also like, of course, you know, higher end like interior design places, and High Street is probably my favorite one for finding really cool pieces in that regard. And then as far as like online, there's a bajillion shops, but I would say Wayfair is like a really good like resource for anybody.
Wow, those are excellent resources. Thanks so much, Mandy. Where can people find you?
Yeah, you can go to our website, which is manmanstudios.com. That's MANMAN studios.com. That's probably the easiest way because you can just email me from there. And of course, we're on Instagram and Facebook under the same names, Man Studios. So I would love to connect with you guys, work with you.
Thank you. Well, thanks so much for joining us today, Mandy, the only designer who's had her projects on 2 of our episodes. So thank you so much. It's been fun talking with you again.
Thanks, you guys. You're the best.
Bye.
Thank you. See you. That was so much fun.
I know. I just adore her.
Yeah, she's great. And that house is one of my favorites with the attic.
Everybody needs to go back to that episode.
Yes, please watch the episodes.
It is season 1, episode 6 at beyondthecurve.org.
That's right, beyondthecurve.org. So we're going to take another quick break, and then we'll be back for some live Q&A.
Yes, here's 2 more homeowners talking about the River Cities.
Bellevue is an urban Mayberry. It's only 1 mile by 1 mile. I think they have a population of like 5,000 people. So it's a very close-knit community, but it's right on the river, right by downtown Cincinnati. So it's got a very cute main street, which is walkable from this development, with lots of little shops and coffee shops and bars and restaurants. Then also what's nice is we have the Kroger just a block away here also, so you've got the benefit of a great grocery store chain within like 2 blocks away.
We want the urban life. We wanted to be able to walk out our door and take a walk, and we love these old homes. It's like such an old community.
Love that. Thank you guys for joining us again. Talk about the River Cities.
Yeah, you know, it's such a cool experience to watch all these episodes because you'll get to meet so many people, and then you're going to run into some of these folks around the community. Like you're going to say, "Oh, hey," and you might catch Mandy, you know, at the Pickle fight.
You can ask for their autograph.
You never know. Yeah, and Jill was so cool when somebody came in and met you. And said, "You're the star from Beyond the Curve."
Oh, yeah.
So that's always kind of cool.
Like crazy. Yeah.
That's kind of great. Well, we've been following along, folks, and so we've got some questions. Marilyn Baker has been watching. Hey, Marilyn, how you doing? Her question for you, Jill, is how do you find homes and businesses to feature, and what's the quirkiness features you remember?
Oh, boy. So when we are looking for properties to feature in the video series, I rely heavily on the viewers to give me your suggestions. So when we're planning another season, which we've already hinted at for 2022, so please, my email is at beyondthecurb.org, so look that up and feel free to suggest properties. I'm always looking for something interesting. It has to be in Ludlow, Covington, Newport, Bellevue, or Dayton. Other than that, I'm open to anything. Quirky features, you know, some of the gardens that we've come across have been beautiful. I think that my favorite detail is in the Storybook Cottage episode in Ludlow. So this episode is amazing, and the house was built in the late 1800s, and all the homeowners throughout the years have signed their names on the wall in the living room, and they have preserved those, so they never have been painted over.
You know, this is just like I was talking about Somerset. While you're there or while you're watching, you can get that sense, that feeling that you're part of history. You know, like seeing that inscribed writing from 1859 or whenever it was, it's just so cool. And then to see the series of the homeowners, so much fun. Thank you, Jill. Our next question is from Cindy. So, how do you pick which river city each year? How do you pick the river city?
Yeah, so for the in-person tours, our service area, as I said, from Ludlow to Dayton, and we like to highlight the city. We try to kind of rotate between them for the in-person tours. Our most popular tours are Newport and Covington, so we do tend to repeat those a little bit more often than the other cities. But we try to highlight interesting things that are going on in the city. Also, if we have one of our projects in one of the cities that we'd like to highlight, one of the Catalytic funded projects, sometimes I build a tour around that. So we're going to tell you in just a little bit what we're planning for 2022.
Well, Judy has a question. She says, what are the guidelines for choosing a home and or neighborhood? What are some of the guidelines?
Yeah, I would say for the in-person tours, it really depends on the critical mass, because I really have heard feedback from the people who go on the tours that they like them to be very walkable. So I try to get them within a nice tight footprint. And if we kind of move away from that, then I try to have like a secondary location that's also walkable. So that's the primary criteria for the tours. Does it fit in my footprint, and also is it interesting? Does it bring something additional to the tour? I don't want to have all historic homes. I'd like to have a little mix with apartments and condos and modern infill homes, that kind of thing.
Kim says, what is the best or funniest things that have happened during filming?
I think for me, all the outtakes for sure. It takes me many takes sometimes to get my words to come out right.
I'm not publishing any of those.
No,
I want to keep my job.
Yeah, those are gone forever. One of the most interesting things, though, is how fast time moves when you're in video land. I have so many things that I want to share with you all, the viewers, for every episode, and those 6 minutes just fly by when I really start talking. So that's been challenging, but I tell you, it would have been impossible without you. Seriously, you're such a professional, and you're so helpful, and I think you are getting to love the river cities too.
I'm loving the river cities, yes.
Thank you.
And I get quite the workout carrying the camera over my shoulder. But I thought it was kind of cool, like the Three Spirits episode.
That was so fun. Bellevue, the Three Spirits Tavern. I got to learn about all the ghost stories there. The owner, Charlie, one of the owners of the tavern there, got to tell me all the ghost stories, and I actually wrote them up for their website. So if you want to check out the Three Spirits Tavern website, you can read about all the ghost stories there. Really interesting.
You got super lucky with the Ludlow studio apartment because you're in interior design.
I know, it was so much fun. So we have a little studio apartment in Ludlow in season 1, and I got to stage it, which was so much fun. And it was above an art studio, Jeff and John Winkle art studio. And so the star of the show there is their artwork. And then I got to stage it around it. So it was really fun.
We obviously can't showcase every episode in this live video, but the St. Anthony converted
the church
condo.
in Bellevue.
Yeah, like they have the stained glass windows. You got to go to the website, beyondthecurve.org, watch this episode. So these folks live in an old church, and so all the stained glass and all the sun coming through. It's a
And the
photographer's
vestments.
dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just my shot is from the master bedroom looking down at the kitchen table, and they have the old church lantern hanging from the ceiling with the stained glass. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't make this stuff
No,
up, folks.
it's
You can't make this
amazing.
stuff up.
It's so unusual too.
So Charmaine has a question.
Yes.
Charmaine Kessinger. I hope I'm saying that
Yes,
right.
she was actually the owner of one of our properties.
Wait a minute.
Yes, she's
Is this the common?
Ludlow Rivers Breeze one. Yeah, the
Reverse
beautiful.
breeze.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Great.
Love that. Hi,
Hi,
Charmaine.
Hi, Charmaine. She says, what has been the biggest surprise that you have seen in design?
That's a good question. I think that the Somerset Hall property, the way they took that incredibly historic home and jazzed it up. My favorite thing is, and I think we saw a clip of it earlier, is they used these inexpensive, colorful, brightly colored rag rugs as a runner for the staircase, and it just made it so fun. And when they get worn, they just pull them out. They cost like $10 each. They put another one up. I love that, and it's so surprising in that home. That'd be my pick.
And this is just a general comment. I think it would be fun to share during the show. This is from Mike Strobel. He says, I enjoy learning the history when we tour residences. It's a great opportunity for us to see things that we wouldn't normally get to see. Kudos to homeowners for opening up their homes.
Agreed.
Yes.
We could not do it without the homeowners. No question. Thank you all so much, and thanks, Mike, for that comment.
And so Mary Kay has a question. She says, are there any infill opportunities in the river cities?
That's a great question. Yes, actually, one of the first episodes that we filmed was a pair of houses that are built right next to each other there on Philadelphia in Covington. So there are lots around. Everything in the river cities is super popular right now, so you kind of got to get on it. But the Catalytic Fund maintains a map of city-owned properties. So if anybody wants to email me through the email at beyondthecurve.org, I can share those out with you. And also just like a Zillow search of lots, if you just want to say, search for like lots in Newport or lots in Covington, you'll find some opportunity. If it's in a historic neighborhood, though, you're going to have to pass the design review.
Charmaine is asking another question. Have you met the homeowners, dogs, cats, and other animals? Yes. In fact, I pick my favorites and give them a title in the episode. So
Yes.
you're going to have to watch all 32 shows to find these animals. But yes, the cutest, they're all cute.
Yeah.
All dogs. I'm an animal lover. But yes, we try to give priority to folks, and we give little
Like
spotlights.
their names. Yeah,
Yeah.
we try to
Yeah.
include their names.
And you do great in the VO. Oh, there's this cute little dog in the door.
Yeah, we love it.
It's kind of cool.
We
So
love it. Very
that's
family,
great.
very animal-friendly
Well, let's
neighborhoods.
Shouldn't we talk about next year?
Great. So we're just going to give you a quick preview of what we've got planned for 2022. So we are going to do everything, COVID allowing. We're going to do 2 in-person tours. Our spring tour that we're planning is in Newport on the west side and historic Monmouth neighborhoods, and also Clifton, which is up on the hill. So those 3 areas in Newport for our spring tour. Then our fall tour, we are planning on being in Latonia neighborhood in Covington, which is the first time that we've ever been in Latonia, and there's so much going on there now. I'm really excited to show it to you. And then we are planning season 3 over the summer, probably a 10-episode season. Very much wanting to hear your suggestions for properties to include, so please share those with me. And we have gotten a sponsor for a season sponsor. It's Ovation in Newport.
At Ovation.
Yeah, the residence is at Ovation. So we're going to be able to give you little updates throughout the season on that project, which will be really exciting. We are looking for another season sponsor as well, so please let us know if you're interested. Our sponsors really have benefited.
This show goes sometimes it's hard to track through a click and a view, but the show has great impact. I've personally invested into living into Northern Kentucky as a result of the episodes, but we reach all kinds of, who do we reach as a result? Can you tell folks, maybe some of the folks that might watch these episodes?
Oh yeah, so we have bankers, realtors, company, higher ups. We have,
C-suites,
C-suites, exactly. We have homeowners, we have renters, we have people who are considering moving to Northern Kentucky. So I would say if you have a business and you would like to talk directly to Northern Kentucky homeowners and business leaders, this is a great way to do it.
Yeah, there's all kinds of banking, finance, real estate professionals, and like you said, corporate C-suite executives. So this is a great opportunity if you want to reach a very specific audience and grow your business. But it would be great for both business to business and business to consumer companies. So if you own like a landscape company or you own like a home services company, that would be an excellent opportunity for you to get your name out there. So we are looking for sponsors.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up, because that's a great way to connect with our viewers. And also, the last thing I want to share with you is we are possibly considering taking Beyond the Curb on the road out of the river cities of Northern Kentucky. So if your community is interested in bringing Beyond the Curb to your area for a short season, please let me know. We'd love to learn more about it and bring your area to our viewers.
Well, thanks, Jill, for coming by the studio. It's been so great having you here. And
it's been so much fun. I was so nervous about this live episode. I feel like it's gone pretty well. Thank you all for your patience with me here.
You did great.
Thanks.
You did great. So thanks for coming by Valera Studios, and thanks everybody for watching. And where do they find more information at beyondthecurve.org. And then if you'd like to learn more about Valera Studios, you can go to our website, valerastudios.com, for video for your business. So thanks so much, and thanks, Jill, for coming by the studio.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Have a great one. We'll see you soon.